On Saturday and Sunday, a Splatoon Major, that is the largest scale of tournament that's run in competitive play, was held online. I promptly got sick sniffling my way through being on the Eventorg's first ever analyst desk, and so I'm only getting around to talking about it now. There were no major upsets in the paradigm of how we understand the game. Splash-O-Matic is still the strongest weapon in the game, and everyone who's been paying attention already knew that. But there were a few new insights into building a competitive team comp that I think teams should take note of in case they haven't already. The first, and probably least surprising for competitive players, was the maturation of Splatana Stamper play that we were able to see on display. People have known for some time that this weapon is strong. After all, ProChara, one of the leading competitive content creators in the scene, has been maining it for some time now. It's been one of the usual suspects to spot in top-level Japanese tournaments. But we're starting to see players really master this thing in the way that they have mastery over more familiar weapon classes, and I can point to several moments where a Stamper player accomplished something in a team fight that no other weapon in the game is capable of. Wami, a Japanese Stamper player, made some game-changing plays for the half-North American, half-Japanese pickup Kagura. Kyo, one of the best North American players of all time, largely put down the sloshers he's always played to learn the weapon. I've seen him working on it for some time now. It even appears in one of my other videos. But this was the first tournament where it really felt like a weapon he mained, and the pressure he was able to create using it was beautiful to watch. Sloshers aren't completely out of the picture though. My second observation is that we saw a double slosher comp played by both Flippa and Starburst, the top two teams in the tournament, on Flounder Heights. Sloshing Machine is no surprise, as its use has decreased but by no means gone away since it was nerfed down from being the undisputed second best weapon in the game. But the use of Tri-Slosher here was noteworthy, as players were able to make great use of the various sharking opportunities, walls to slosh over, and strong inkjet locations, especially since the map has been found to be less favorable to weapons like E-Leaders that make inkjets difficult to run in other places. Tri-Slosher has been right on the cusp of being playable more broadly for some time, and I'm glad to see people trying it even in niche situations so that when a new kit comes out, players are ready to take advantage of it. We may get Kyo back onto a bucket yet. The last comp I want to point out is something I've now seen a couple times from top Japanese teams, and as far as I've seen, there hasn't been a lot of experimentation with it in the West. On Clamplet's Mako Mart, Flippa ran a triple midline comp against Last Resort. Rapid Blaster, Sloshing Machine, Stamper, all mid-ranged weapons with both main weapons and specials that perform well against crab tanks. Now, with a comp like this, I always ask the question, how do you push in? I did, after all, just recently make a video about how important it is to have frontliners who can push the enemy team back, and the longer your weapon's range gets, due to the way the weapons are balanced, the more carefully the weapon needs to check its corners and play certain positions to avoid giving up its major combat advantages. This is why the map mode I mentioned is important to the conversation. Clamplet's Mako Mart has one of the shortest objective lines in the game, taking only 6 seconds to get from basket to basket, and that's with a mid-weight weapon wearing Ninja Squid. You don't need to push very far. So long as you can get the splats you need to secure mid, your tempo is still fast enough to be in scoring position before they respawn. It's a similar idea to why the comp I talked about in my last video worked. They didn't have to go very far to reach the objective. All they needed to do was win one fight from a defensive lockout, and they could immediately start scoring despite being slower at pushing up. Therefore, their speed at pushing up didn't matter as much, and they were able to leverage their superior ability to lock the other team out sooner. Starburst successfully used a very long-ranged comp against FT Win. Okay, sorry, we need to refer to them as not FT Win because they had one entire sub playing for them, on Snapper Rainmaker at Riptide in Splatoon 2. I commented at the time that a long-ranged comp is a risk because if you get a lead, you can hold it really well, but getting that lead is the hard part. For them, it took Ice getting a huge stingray that splatted one and forced another to jump, and then Jared popping off on frontline dually squelchers. But once they got that lead, they held on to it. If you can engineer ways to get that lead, something that's easier to do on a smaller map, I think there are a lot of possibilities that are going unnoticed in the current meta. In the previous video, the plan was to use displacement specials to blot out the sun on the very short route from uncontestable high ground to the splat zone on Wahoo. For Starburst, it was a strong Stingray play to facilitate an armor push. If you can find some other kind of set play that's consistent enough, the defensive capabilities of a midline heavy weapon comp could be worth sacrificing some pushing power for. Then again, Splash-O-Matic has burst bombs, so it's also a midline weapon, and people already know to run 3 of those.